Welcome to the Boostly podcast. We're in season 8, episode 15. And today we are talking about Book Direct. The whole Boostly podcast is about direct bookings, but now more than ever on the back of coronavirus crisis and how it's hit the hospitality industry, how so-called partners have treated their hosts. I think now more than ever, we need to be having a proactive discussion about Book Direct. If anybody has listened to my last season, season 7, you'll know that the final episode, episode 22, was where I broke down the last 2 events that I appeared and talked at and spoke at. One being the More Bookings Direct Conference, which was hosted, which was founded, which was created by Damien Sheridan. And on the back of the success of that event, he has now created another Book Direct event. And this is an event that has obviously got a little bit of a twist to it. Obviously, in the world that we are now living in, everybody is going virtual. We've got a nice little twist to this event that he's going to explain about on this show. But why is direct bookings important? Well, just to premise, what has happened over the course of the last couple of weeks is that Airbnb and Booking.com have gone behind host backs and refunded, without any prior warning, a large majority of host and property owners' bookings. And obviously they've got a very, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place here, but because the lack of the communication, which has caused a lot of trouble. And there are people out there, maybe this is you watching, or people that you know that are going to be tuning into this, that rely heavily, 90% plus, on Airbnb, Booking.com, and third parties to bring in their bookings. And when you do that, then this is when it's going to hurt you the most, because I know people that have lost thousands and their business now is struggling because they didn't work on increasing their direct bookings. And this is why this conversation is going to be super important. So without further ado, Damien, if you could just do me a massive favor, introduce yourself a little bit, if you can, do your background in hospitality, where you are in the world, and a little bit more about your views on direct booking.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Damien. I am joining you from Spain, southern Spain, near Malaga. I am a fierce advocate of the Book Direct movement. I am an SEO by trade. I work in search engine optimization with vacation rental, holiday rental, whatever you want to call it, short-term rental property managers throughout Europe and the US. And yeah, as Mark said, I had an event in London that some of his Boostly crew came along to, and was primarily all focused upon the direct booking movement. How we can generate more bookings through various means, such as email marketing, which Mark spoke about, social media, SEO, Google My Business, guest experience, technology, etc., with a whole host of excellent speakers. So yeah, so we've, in light of our new era that we're living in, have kind of changed the whole premise of our event. We are now looking at an exclusively online event in September called the Book Direct Show. I think the Book Direct Show is a lot easier to remember than More Bookings Direct Conference. So yeah, we've rebranded somewhat. So nice. Yeah, so that's where we're at, Mark. So yeah, happy to talk a bit more.
You're obviously in Spain, and we're recording this on the 2nd of April. How was the last sort of 2 to 3 weeks of your life being obviously on lockdown? And you're in pretty much the epicenter in Europe of where the coronavirus crisis is.
Well, I mean, to say it's unprecedented, is an understatement. I've been on lockdown here with my family, my 2 young kids who are 3 and 5. Not been easy. Work proactivity is somewhat restricted, but hey, this is the same for us all. A lot of people are dropping their SEO, so we've got to be a bit more proactive about our work. But also, I've got a couple of holiday rentals and one up the road here in Spain, actually. And of course, people are wanting to change their plans left, right, and centre. Now, I have, fortunately, for 18 months now, I have been totally Book Direct. I'm an OTA independent, so I have had at least the opportunity of not being told by a major OTA, all your bookings have been cancelled and refunded in full. I have had the option of at least approaching and speaking and communicating with my guests and saying to them, hey, look, we're really dreadfully sorry about the situation. You're struggling, we're struggling. Can we change your dates free? What can we do for you? And bar 1 out of 8 cancellations over the next 10 weeks, we've changed the dates for everyone, which is great. And that's the thing, for all of us who have the control over those bookings, at least we have that option. available to us. So, but yeah, it's undoubtedly, you know, a tricky time for us all.
You hit the nail on the head right there, is that when you do have a direct booking, when somebody comes and books via you, it's on your terms, it's on your cancellation policy. You have got the guest's full data, you know, email, etc. And yeah, you know, it is more in your control. For everybody that is watching this, you will have suffered in some way, shape or form from this, and you will remember the date that I remember waking up and there was a notification on my phone. It was from Airbnb, and they sent out that millions and millions upon people saying that, you know, you could book free of charge, you know, and they literally pre-wrote a template that people could send to whoever that they had made a booking with. And without giving any warning, so many people have suffered from it. And this is why we can talk about it. You know, we go conferences, events, all about it, but you've got to actually start to make that process into getting a direct booking. But there's a whole series on how you can get direct bookings on the podcast. If you just go to the first ever series that I did on the Boostly podcast, it's 5 ways to start to increase your direct bookings. And, you know, this is why the event that you hosted in February, the one that I attended, we had, you know, people like Alan Egan, Yvonne Hallin, we had people from Zeevou, we had people from iPrac talking, but there's people that are skilled in so many different ways, branding, etc. But it's so important to do. Now, I gave my takeaways from the More Bookings Direct conference in London. That was season 7, episode 22. But I'd be interested, now that the dust has settled, you've had a chance to relax and, you know, decompress after throwing it on a very popular big event. What was your personal takeaways from that show?
I would never organize an event on my own again. But secondly, just how this has truly resonated with people. You know, I think an important theme here that I had kind of not realized was that a lot of people feel very, and it's very, you know, it's important in this day and age, people feel isolated. They feel like, you know, they're under the control of some major OTAs, and they don't necessarily have, not even just the control over their bookings, but there's not other people out there necessarily like them who need that help, who need that education, and that there is, you know, the availability to collaborate with other people. You know, we're not all competitors. We're all peers. You know, we all have valuable information to share, vital insights to share, which I think is a part of this. And one of the big takeaways that I got was people speaking during the breaks, people speaking afterwards, how they just found value in talking to each other and you know, sharing vital golden nuggets that we didn't even necessarily address on the day, or we didn't have time to. We all have some level of expertise, and it's about sharing that and you know, and just moving forward together. I think we're you know, there's a vital kind of communal aspect to this, and I think we need to hone in.
My personal, what I like about it, and I've said this before, is that when you go to conferences and expos, it's always the same sort of theme, where you're in a big room, and, you know, you've got a ton of people that are exhibiting their products, and then you've got different rooms where you've got people speaking. Obviously, the aim of the people that are producing those shows is to get everybody, all of the delegates, all of the pundits, into the main arena where all the exhibitions are, because that's where, you know, those people have paid this big event to be there, and they want to funnel people through. And then from there, there's loads of shows on. So I find that from when I go to these big events, there's so many people that I miss that I want to see speak. Now, what I liked about yours, it was the opposite. It was one room, it was one speaker at a time, tea and coffee area, a chatting area, and where there was maybe 1 or 2 tables, people exhibiting what they had. You know, we had iPrac there and Zeevou and You're Welcome. But the main focus was on the speakers. The main focus was on the delegates. The main focus was the discussion. It was the chat. And I really enjoyed that, because I was able, me personally, I got my talk out the way first, and then I was able to sit and watch and learn from peers in the industry, which I really liked that. And I found that the delegates, the people that were attending, people that came from Boostly, and I had a quick chat, breaks and whatnot, they were really benefiting from that, because they were picking up tactics and tips, obviously, from the experts. That's why the speakers are there, but also as well, other people, like you say, other delegates that appeared up there, because everybody in their own right way is very skilled in what they do. It's just not everybody talks about it. I like that, and I really like that, and I think that's definitely a way for events to go in the future. So let's move on to your idea then, because I got a text off you, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, with your next idea. So let's just break down what you're thinking. Let's just break down what you have in plan, and most importantly, we will give you at the end of this the little domain that you can go to register your interest.
Off the back of my event in London, which you were all so kind to contribute to, the feedback was incredible. Was so good, and mostly about the content. That the content was fantastic. I thought long and hard about all of those experts out there that could really contribute something of real value and real education. And I'm sure the guys at the Boostly community would concur with that. That there was so much to learn. Nearly all of the presenters there all agreed that they learned so much of this, of other aspects and other ways to generate direct booking. I think that's it. If the experts can learn, everyone's going to learn. Yeah, it led me to think, well, hey, let's not necessarily restrict this to, UK property managers or those in Europe. Let's look at kind of getting a global reach here. Now, the coronavirus crisis has obviously changed a lot, so it made sense to do an online event. So now we and a small team that I'm working with now on this, we're looking at doing an event exclusively online, a 2-day event in September. It's the 29th and 30th of September. Mark is on board, and nearly all of the presenters at the conference in London. We're going to have 2 days. The first day is going to be like an interactive day of longer kind of workshops, which again, hoping to get Mark on board with that one. So we're going to have live Q&As and polls, etc. And day 2 will be a series of webinars, mostly pre-recorded, huge amounts, probably at minimum 30 or so. And all about the various ways of driving direct booking, almost like a More Bookings Direct conference on steroids, if you will. We're pushing it out. We're speaking to many experts from around the world, and they're all jumping at it. I think it's going to be really valuable.
Anything comes on the back of this coronavirus, and just how this crisis has just taken over the world. I think there's a lot of industries that are going to be looking at how things run in the future, like how the business runs, how events run, etc. And I do think the event sector is definitely going to be one that you will find some of the more bigger shows now will start to go virtual. I've seen a lot of events which are adding in a virtual element. And the thing that I have noticed from speaking to a lot of people from the hospitality community in the Boostly Academy is that the few events that I speak at, everybody has said, I would go, but, and the but is always getting there. And the beauty of a virtual event, one where you can literally tune in from anywhere in the world. So it doesn't matter whether you're in New Zealand, Australia, South America, North America, anywhere you can tune in from your house, your kitchen, your living room, put it on the TV, and you'll be able to take part. With the technology that is out there now, the money that is being invested into companies like Zoom, Zoom stocks, which we're talking on Zoom now, Zoom stocks have gone up, 300% since the start of all of this. So there's going to be a lot more money put into this sort of thing, and the technology is going to get better and better and better. And to be able to be part of that, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see who can tune in, where they can tune in from, and what we'll be able to do will be really, really exciting. And to have something all around the Book Direct theme is even better, because again, there's one thing that I know that will come out of the back of this is that a lot of hosts and property managers will be sort of reevaluating how they do their marketing. They'll be reevaluating how much they rely on third parties to bring their bookings in. They'll be reevaluating their websites, their property management software, their channel managers. They want to be more omni-channel. They want to be everywhere, but most importantly, they will be looking to increase their direct bookings. And the problem is that so many people will be sat there going, I want to improve my direct bookings, and they don't know how. So something like this, and you can go right now, bookdirect.show. It's a hell of a domain. Very well done for getting this one sorted. But bookdirect.show, you go there, you can scroll down and you can register your interest with what you would like to learn about. And obviously then Damien and his army of people will be in touch with you closer to the date, give you exact details on how to tune in and how and what you need to tune in as well, which is awesome. Obviously we've got people that are lined up to speak, and I can pretty much guarantee there'll be more and more people confirming the more they hear about this. And we invite everybody tuning in to go and register. Bookdirect.show, put your name down, and obviously Damien will be in touch. Do you have anything else to add about the show? Is there anything, any sort of anything you want the Boostly people to come at you with? Any suggestions or whatnot? Is there anything that we can do to help spread the word?
I know your community, they're very proactive and they're very engaged. And, I see it on your Facebook groups. And I love that. This is exactly what this event is for. Those people who have that level of proactivity, who want to do something with their industry. Not everyone's like that. And I totally get that. Not everyone has the time to undertake all of these things that you need to be looking at for a book direct strategy. I know with SEO, very few people have got time for it. They roll their eyes when they even hear about, the phrase. So I get that. But yeah, in terms of your community, I think it's perfect. People are already registering their interest from all around the world. We've had, people today from Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, find it and sign up. So yeah, I think that's exactly it. Wherever you are in the world, you can sit in front of your computer, watch it live, or watch the videos thereafter, and gain huge amount of educational value. In so many different ways. And ways that I need help with as well. I'm not an expert on most of these things. That's why I bring you guys on board, and so everyone has access to that level of expertise.
Bookdirect.show. Please go and register. And as we do with every one of these episodes, I like to finish with some quick fire questions. We'll get to know Damien a little bit better. And now, obviously, because of the current situation we're in, they have to be themed with a coronavirus style. So, Damien, I haven't given you any previous one of these. You're going to be hearing them for the first time. So, are you ready?
Let's go for it.
All right, number one. If you could be isolated or on lockdown with one celebrity, who would it be? Could be living or dead.
Eric Cantona.
If there is one movie or TV series that you've had on your watch list for ages but just never had the time, whether it's Netflix, whatever, what has that been?
I'm going to sound like way out of touch here, but Mad Men, never seen it. But I know it's one it's kind of like SEO for a lot of people. It's like they know it's important, they know they should be getting involved, but I just haven't. But it's there. It's there.
I know it's hard to fit it around with the kids and whatnot, but it's there. And seeing that, we're on lockdown for a while, so why not? I think I know the answer to this. What is the one thing that you've missed the most since being on lockdown?
I guess, some fresh air. Apart from just nipping down to a supermarket, I think a run out into the campo here for a half hour. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's probably the thing. But a little bit of football every now and again might help too.
I think that's been the most common answer is exercise so far. Okay, so what has been your favorite purchase under £100 or €100 in the last 6 to 12 months?
Do you know what? Of the last year or two, and actually it's probably since my daughter was born 3 years ago, I've hardly read a book at all. When I came back from the Short Stay show in London a bit weeks ago, feels like a year ago, I bought some books in Smith's, and I think for 30 quid, I am just to be reading again. It just like opened my eyes up to a whole new world of peace and tranquility. So
is it fiction, non-fiction? What do you?
I'm reading. This is going to make me sound like a Man United nut here, but I'm reading Leading from Sir Alex Ferguson and Shoe Dog. Catching the Rise, my favorite book of all time.
And finally, very, very apt. What is your one biggest piece of advice that you would pass on to any host if they wanted to be proactive in boosting their direct bookings?
I think something that's really underutilized is to know that you're an expert. So many people don't realize that they're an expert in their local area. They feel that, a lot of the same questions from guests, etc. But use that expertise, use that expertise to kind of build up a rapport with your clients. If that's, through your website or when they arrive or, during the stay, post stay, just let them know that, what can you do to help their stay, be as perfect as possible. And repeat bookings are worth gold, absolute gold, and the easiest way to get to right bookings. So work on that level of expertise. Know what you know about your area and about the offering that you're giving your guests. Mark, I'm not as engaged on Facebook as I should be. I am on Facebook, but
you're a LinkedIn man.
I'm more of a LinkedIn man. I used to be more of a Twitter man, actually. My handle is Damien, Damian Sheridan 9, number 9. But I'm more of a LinkedIn man. I've been more kind of engaged on that over the last 6 months. So just check me out on LinkedIn, but also Facebook. I am there. you'll see this face.
Bookdirect.show. That is where that's where I want everybody to go to. Just go and register your interest. Go and just put your name down. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. The beauty of this type of show and this type of event is it's going to be online. So you can be able to tune in. And I know that the Boostly Academy, the Boostly World, the Book Direct movement, and we've got Hospitality Community. We have got people in every continent. We've got people in every country. So this is a fantastic one, and I'm really looking.
Can I just add one thing there, Mark? Actually, in terms of the registering interest page, what I'm doing at the moment, we've got about 15 to 20 speakers already lined up. For anyone who registers their interest, they get to tick any amount of topics that they're really interested in hearing about. And that's the data that actually we're going to use for the next 2 months to actually then approach speakers from around the world, extra speakers in those specific things. So it's really going to be about the attendees kind of driving the actual content as well, which I think is kind of unique as well.
Yeah, I'm on there now and I can see that Google My Business is there, and I think Google My Business is going to be one that a lot of people want to know definitely not more about Google Ads. So yeah, awesome. So thank you very much, Damien, for that. Thank you for coming on, and thank you everybody for tuning in. This podcast is sponsored by the lovely people at Hostfully. Go to hostfully.com. Go and check it out. You get one free digital guidebook for your property, and if you want to upgrade and add more, put Boostly2M in that promo code, then you get 2 months free, which is nice. And it's also sponsored by Boostly's very own Book Direct movement. For $9.99 a month, you get access to all of your social media content sorted for you, training videos, and you get listed on Book Direct Map. It's a monthly subscription, cancel at any time. You join a lovely little Facebook group, but the most important part at the present moment, the thing that the members are loving the most, is that you get 30 pieces of fresh social media content every single month for Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. All you got to do is copy, paste, personalize, post it, and that's your whole social media taken care of, which at these present times, the last thing on the mind of everybody is social media. So if you've got somewhere that you can just do it, ditch it, forget about it, it's what the members are loving at the moment. So go check it out, boostly.co.uk/BDM. That's it, $9.99 a month, and it's got a full money back guarantee as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back very soon with another episode of the Boostly podcast. Please, as well, before you leave, just tell one person about this. Share this link, share this episode, social media, go leave a review on iTunes, or just grab the link and email it to somebody that you know who may need to watch this. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the other side.